Let me just quickly share my screen. Okay, cool. So yesterday we went through different data types. We started with numbers, and we went to strings. We spoke about lists, sets, tuples. What else did we speak about? Floats. Yeah. What else did we talk about?
And dictionary.
Dictionaries, yes. So yeah, so today we'll be starting with the numbers. So we'll be looking at things that we can do with numbers, and we'll also talk about variables. I think we'll have enough time to do that. So let me just put my phone on silent.
My phone on silent.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So yeah, I'm going to try and create folders on my, actually at the end of the lesson I'll show you how to use how to get the code that I'm writing on my computer onto your machine. So you'll need to get GitHub accounts. So the accounts are free, but so they'll help us share code. So when I'm done with the lesson, I'll commit my code to GitHub, and you guys can pull it down. So I'm going to make the code public so that everyone can see it. So yeah, so today we're going to be dealing with numbers. So let's see, what should I call this folder? The folder is numbers. I'll call these operations. There you go. Yeah. So data types in all your data types in Python have some kind of behavior that you can get out of them. Like, normally for your numbers, you can add your numbers, you can subtract your numbers, you can divide them, you can multiply them, amongst other things. So today we'll have a look at what kind of operations we can do on numbers in order to get some certain behavior. So yesterday we went through the print function, so we'll be using it a lot, because that's what we will be using to see some kind of interaction on our screen when we run our code. So so yeah, yesterday we saw that you can actually add two numbers. So you can just print that, and then we'll add two numbers. So if you look at, so I moved my code into, so yesterday's code, I moved it into this folder called introduction. Today's one, I moved it into this folder called numbers. And then I have a file called operations in there, because that's where we'll be looking at the operations that we can do on numbers. So does anyone have an idea of what I need to do in order to run the code in this file over here?
Okay, I'll take a guess there.
Okay.
I know you have to put in the name after Python. You have to put in the name of the file, which will be operation.py. I'm just not sure about the folder, if you have to put the folder as well.
Yes. So if I do that, operations.py, it's can't open file operation.py, right? So for me to be able to do that, I'll have to go numbers and then that. So that's how I'll run it, because that's where my program is. My program is inside this. It's inside this folder. So I need to be able to run. For me to be able to run that particular program, I need to go say, okay, the program that I want to run is inside numbers, and the program that I want to run is operations.py. And then when I do that, then it'll it will run that particular one. So that's how you run that operations inside numbers. See that? Yeah. So another operation that we can do, I think these make sense, right? So you have your addition, you have your subtraction, and then you have your, I'm going to do that. You have your multiplication. You have your, I'm going to do it the other way, 9/2. You have your division, right? So, but these are not the only operations that you can do. You can do on your numbers. So there's other operations like you can get the square of your numbers. You can find the remainder when you divide two numbers, right? So let me just talk about that. So to get to, so let's say you want to get 9 to the power 2, right? So you do something like that. So you have two asterisks which symbolize that you want to the power of, right? So you're essentially saying you want 9 to the power of 2, and it gives you 81, right? And then let's say you wanted to find the remainder when you divide a number, right? So here, this guy over here, I'm just gonna copy this down there. So we have 9/2, and we know that when you divide 9 by 2, you have a remainder of 1, right? So if you maybe you wanted to find that out and you didn't know, there's they call it a modulus a mod operator, with the mod stands for modulus, right? And you use the percentage. So when you say 9% 2, it gives you the remainder when you divide 9 by 2. So in this case, we expect it to be 1, right? And one other thing that we should also, I'm just going to get a new line there. You can do, so it obeys mathematical rules. Like when you do, let's say I want to say 9 plus 2 times 4 minus I'll say minus 5, right? So when Python executes this, it'll start off with this one, right? So it'll go 2 times 4, which is 8, and then you add it to 9, which gives you 17, and then you minus that, it gives you 12, right? So you should expect that to be 12. So if that's not what you wanted, and you actually wanted to go 9 plus 2 times 4 minus that, then you'd have to do you can also use your brackets there. That is allowed. So you can use your brackets there. So it'll add that, you'll get 11, and then you get 44, and then you get 39, right? And then that's what you get. So how you would evaluate this statement over here on paper is actually how it does it. So it obeys the rules of maths. So I don't know if you guys have any questions before we can move on.
I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm not going to remove this. So create another file. So one thing, this is actually, let me just talk about this before I move on to the next thing. So this is actually not a good way to do things, because like now, if I was to ask you, what do these numbers represent? What would you say? Like, you actually don't know what they represent, right? You actually just, yeah, you're just putting numbers into the screen, and then you're getting answers. You actually don't know what they mean. It's just output. You don't know what to do with it, right? So for us to solve that particular problem, we have this thing called variables. So I'm going to create a shit. Right, and then so for your variables, it's like you have, let's say you have some sort of problem that you want to solve, right? Let's say you want to calculate your tax, right? And then you have, you have your tax rate, and you have your salary, and then you have other deductions, and at the end of the day, like other deductions that are made on your salary. Let's say, yeah, you want to calculate your net salary. And then you would use some kind of variables like your tax, your gross salary, and other deductions. And then at the end, after you do your operations, that's when you get what? That's when you get your net salary, right? So there's some kind of rules to take into account when you're creating your variable. So let's look at our first variable. Then I will explain what they do. So I'll just start off by saying salary equals to 100, right? So what the statement is saying here is saying, okay, take this the variable salary. So this salary thing here is called a variable, right? And assign it the value 100. So you're saying my salary is equals to 100, and there are rules that you should take into account when naming your variables, right? So some are cosmetic, and some if you don't obey will give you errors. You cannot run your code, right? Like one thing that you cannot do is you cannot start your variable with a number. So if I do that, you see it complains already. If I try to run this program over here, which one? You see, it's telling me syntax error, invalid syntax, because I cannot start the name of my variable with a number. But I can actually have this number at the end or anywhere after. So salary one is something that's valid, but one salary is not. One other one, you cannot have spaces in your variable. Like I can't say my salary, right? I can't do that. That is not allowed. Same thing. If I do that, it will tell me syntax error. So if I wanted to show some kind of space in my salary, I would say I would put an underscore, right? So that's one other way to do it. So to separate words, sometimes you want to name your variables in that way. So like my salary, you want to separate those two words so that you can see them properly. Because if I have it this way, it doesn't. You can see it, but sometimes maybe it's hard to read, right? So for you to be able to actually see it, you can do that, my salary, and then that is allowed. So one other thing, so some special characters are not allowed in your. What is this saying here? Yeah. Some characters are not allowed, right? So like I can't have like a percentage there. I can't do that, right? I can't have like a plus there. I cannot do that, right? I can't have a minus there. So I think, I'm not sure what other ones are not allowed, but actually it's much easier to tell you the ones that are allowed than to show you the ones that aren't. So I know that underscore I just showed you, that is allowed. Let me see this. Is that allowed? That is also not allowed. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's what you'll mostly need anyway. So using the underscore and your letters and your numbers, right? So, but it's also good practice to choose the name of your variable to make sense. Like if I just name this variable A, that is allowed, right? But what does that mean? It's as good as me saying just typing 100, right? Because that does not make particular sense to what I'm trying to do, right? I don't know if that you guys are following or not. Okay, I'll take silence as as you say you
We are
understand.
follow.
Yeah.
We are
So
following.
We are
Yeah.
following.
yeah. So that's what I meant by in the beginning when I said there are rules. Some you can't break, but some are more cosmetic. So like this one, saying just naming your variable A is allowed, but actually it's actually not good practice to do that because you have to give your variable something that makes sense, right? So now I'm just going to uh to yeah, to do that so that we can just use variables to calculate something. So you have our net salary, right? And then we have our tax rate, not plus but underscore. So maybe tax rate at being 0. Right, that. And then let's say you wanted to calculate your net salary, right? How would you guys do it? How would you calculate your net salary here? If you want to take a stab at it using these two variables at the top.
My salary.
Okay.
Minus
Yeah.
my salary times tax rate in brackets. I'll put it
Times.
Oh yeah, it still works.
Like that. And then I can actually just print that out. No, not that, but that. Right? So, and then I get 82, right? Which is correct. And then let's say I wanted you to actually see it properly, right? I can go, I don't know if, no, actually that's fine. We'll do that later. So yeah, so that's fine, right? You calculated your net salary using variables, and that is actually something that you can read and it makes sense, right? Yeah, so you can also you can also change. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to change this and make it and just I'm going to do that, and then this is also allowed. If I was to go that, nope. My text, right, and then you can, yeah. I will print. Right. So these two answers should be the same. So however you do it on paper with your maths, actually this looks like similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if there's any questions before we can move forward.
I think it's clear for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So so can you explain to me what this means, Jack? What I'm doing on line 2.
I think you're just setting the value for the variable so that in the calculation you can just change that value, and then as long as the calculation has that variable, it will calculate it based on that value.
Nah, just read this line, line 2. Just read it.
Okay, line 2 would be saying the variable is tax rate.
Yeah.
And then its value is 0.18.
Yeah. So, and yeah, okay. I think then that's fine. I don't know if I should. Okay, I think we'll move on to more to strings. This actually went faster than I thought. So yeah. So I guess we'll be moving on to strings as as well. So I'm just gonna cool. So yesterday we spoke about strings and how they're represented. So can someone tell me a valid Python string that I can use? Maybe I'm going to print out that Python string to the screen. So I'm just going to take someone's lead. Kri.
A valid string.
Yeah, a valid string that I can use. That I just want to print out a valid string to the screen. I just want you to voice it out to me.
Okay, so in quotations, put 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can just type. So in order for me to see it on the screen, I'll use print, right? Python and then strings. Yeah. So by that I am printing out 1, 2, 3 to the screen. So I can actually do the same thing. I can do the same thing for like as before in the previous when we looked at numbers just now. I assigned some value to some variable to a number. So I can actually assign some other variable. I'll call this hello to give me a string, right? So I can go hello there. So in this case, I'm assigning my variable hello to the value hello as a string, right? So as you can see on the left side, there are no codes. On the right side, there are, because on the left side that's a variable, and on the right side that's a string. I forgot to mention one other thing. So there are special things in Python that you cannot use for your variables, like words, like something like str, right? This is something that's built in to Python, which represents a string. Like if you see when I hover here, I get what? I get string. So you should avoid changing. Like say you want to change that to that, right? You want to assign str to string. So you shouldn't do that. Same as int, which represents numbers in Python. And so as you can see, these actually, we looked at these things yesterday. Str is a string. So we spoke about strings yesterday. Another one that's special is you have your int, which is your integers. Then you have your float. You see, as I'm writing them, they're turning green. So that should tell you that these are special things and you should avoid. If you're going to assign them to something, to some other value, then you should avoid those. So you have your string, your integers, your float. What else? Dictionaries. You have your dictionary. You have your set, right? And then you have your tuple. Nope, tuple. You see that? All of these things turn green. So you should not use them as variables in your code. Yeah. So yeah, yesterday we spoke about strings and how strings are a sequence of characters, right? So there's actually a way in Python to find to take a character at a particular position in your string, right? So let's say I wanted to do something like I want to get the middle L, right? This one, right? There's a way to tell Python, okay, just show me what is there in the middle of this string, right? So I will show you something and how it's done. So I'm just gonna type it out and explain it afterwards, right? So if I do, maybe someone could just take a guess. If I do that, what do you think will happen?
Show the first character of the string.
Okay, let me run that. Let me remove the one at the top and run it again. Let's get that up. You see that?
Is that an E?
Yeah, that's an E. So Python's, sorry?
Does it count from 0?
Yes. So the index, so this is called the index. So the 1 represents the index 1 in this in the hello string. So but we start from index 0. So if I wanted the first character in my string, I would say, okay, show me that, and then it'll say, then that's when it will print an H. So you start it off as from 0, and then if I wanted to get the middle one, the middle L, I would say 2, right? And then I get the middle L. And you're actually also allowed to go in reverse. So you can actually, if let's say you wanted to print the last character in your string, and you actually didn't know how long the string is, right? So there's an easy way to do that. You can start from the back, but starting from the back, we start from -1. So if when I say give me -1, it starts from the back. So -1 should give us a 0 there. So you can actually move from the back, moving the other way. So if I go -2, it should give me the L, and then -3 should give me the same thing, right? And then -4 give me an E, -5 should give me a H, right? I'm gonna clear that up. And you see that? So you can move. You can find the character at the particular position, moving from starting from index 0 going to index that's what, index 4, or starting from -1 going to -5 for this particular one. So depending on how long your string is. So if I was to go -6 here, this will actually, you see, that's an error. So it's telling me string index out of range, right? So it's telling me, oh no, I can't access -6 because actually there's nothing there, because the length of my string is what? Is 5, right? So you can't access that particular index because the length of your string does not allow for that. So it will give you an error if you're trying to access something that's out of the range of your index. Like, just as I can't access -6, I cannot access 5 because 5 is out of range, because the length of my string is what? Is 5, but I start from 0, meaning I'm going to go from 0 to 4. So that means at 5, I will not find anything, right? So it gives me an error. Now I'm going to do this. Let me not remove that actually.
Wait, level.
Yeah.
And then this you can only do it with square brackets or other brackets as well.
You can do it with you do it with square brackets. That's how you access your index. So you have your variable. You actually don't even need your variable, right? So you can do, but it's easier to work with variables than just working with plain numbers, because this, I can do something like that, right? That actually won't work. So for see that I can do it like that, but it's much easier to work with variables, as we mentioned, because me just saying this actually does not help me much, because I would have to repeat. Let's say this was a long word like that, right? And then that means I would have to write this thing over and over again, But if I store it in a variable, I just have to repeat the variable, right? So yeah, but yeah, you use your square brackets to find a particular index.
What happens if I put 2 different digits inside those square brackets?
What do you mean?
Like if I say 0, 1, would that give me HE?
You mean this? 0, 1.
Yeah.
A 0, 1 invalid token.
Oh, it's invalid. So you can only select one at a time. You can't
So-
select a range.
Well, I don't know why that. I don't know why that is an invalid token. I thought it would just evaluate it to 1. That's what I thought. I don't know why it's an invalid token. I'll find out. But you can do something like a 10, which is a
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I thought it would just evaluate it to 1, but it says invalid token. So that's actually a good question, right? So you said you want to just print, you want to print what? HE.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was about to get to now. So so there's I'll show you the syntax now. Don't mind those. So you have your start, stop. I'll start off with that. So you have syntax that's like this. So you have your where you want to start and where you want to stop, right? So you want your HE, so you want to start at 0 and then you want to end at 1, right? So that's how you do it. So you say, okay, start from 0 and end at position 1. But you'll see when I do this, it's actually not what you'd expect it to be. Wait, what's this? Oh, because this guy, I'm going to remove this guy because that's an error. 5, you cannot access 5. So look at that, you see that? So, sorry?
Oh, yeah, okay, continue.
So it gives me an H because the second one is not included. So it starts from 0, goes to 1, but 1 is not included, right? So if I wanted to include 1, I'd have to go up to 2. So that's when it is go HE. So you get that. So you're saying I want to start at 0 and I want to get I want to go up to 2, but not including 2, right? So yeah. So now let's say there's actually another one. So I'll go through another one here. Let's say you actually wanted to go to find every other letter, right? So you want to find every other letter, meaning you want to find H and then L and then O, right? You want to skip the letters at the odd positions in this case. So you'd have something like, so already know that the length of our string is 5. So I want to end at 5, right? That's what I'm going to say. I want to end at 5, and then I want to take steps of 2. So actually, I'm just going to do all 3 so that we can compare them. Cool. So looking at the first one is saying, okay, give me the character at position 0. That's what it's saying, right? And then the second one is saying, give me characters from position 0 up to position 2, but not including position 2. That's what that one is saying, right? And this one is saying, give me characters from position 0 to position 5 with steps of 2, meaning it's going to skip letters. So it's going to skip E and this L, and then gives you, so it's going to give you HLO. So if you look at that, it gives you HLO. So you're saying start at 0 up to position 5, skip and then steps of 2. So if I go steps of 1, it'll actually give me the whole string, right? Because you're moving to each one. So this is equivalent to steps of 1 are just equivalent to me just doing that. So yeah, me when I include the 1 and when I exclude it, it's actually the same thing. So it actually makes more sense for me if I want to skip with something that's not a 1. So when I do that, it skips E, it skips L, and then yeah, makes sense.
I have a question. Huh?
Yeah,
If let's say you wanted to select H and E, you say starting from 0
yeah,
to 2, but not including 2.
yes.
Why is it that you go start to get the whole thing? You get starting at 0 up to 5.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you say like 6?
No.
Or that's invalid.
So it's 5 because the last index is 4, right?
Oh, the last index is 4. All right.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Yeah. So if you have to say 6,
Where's your error?
nah, it doesn't give you an error in this case. Let's see. Let's see a 7. Yeah. Actually doesn't have an index range. Okay. It,
Okay.
yeah.
So left.
Yeah. I think I'll stop here. I don't want to do. I don't want to do any more. I don't want to start something that I'm not gonna finish. So yeah. So okay, maybe let me just explain what these things are, right? So yeah, this one we're just calling it. You're finding something at a particular index, so you can just call it indexing. And then this one, you're actually slicing slicing a string, right? You're saying it's a substring. Actually, this one is a substring. All of them are substrings actually, because your H belongs to your H belongs to your hello string, right? So all of them are substrings, but they are referred to in different ways. I think I'll write a document on that. But this one is called string indexing, and then this one is called these two are called string slicing, and all of them are substrings of the original string. So you're slicing up your string into some particular format. So here you choose to slice it up while skipping every other letter character in your string. This one you just want to cut it up to some certain index. So you want to start from 2 and start from 0 and end at position 2. So that's the terminology around it. Cool.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Cool.
Is it fair deal?
I'm not sure if it's for deal. I want to stop, but I don't know if I can get in a quick one. What do you guys think? We still have 10 minutes, right? Yeah, we still have 10 minutes. So I think I can squeeze something in. So I remember yesterday when I spoke about strings and tuples and amongst other things, I mentioned that strings are actually immutable, right? So what that means is I cannot. So if we look at the string hello, what would you do if I was to say change this letter H over here, right, to be a P? What would you do? How would you do that?
I would delete the H and just type P there.
No, without no, no, like I want without changing any code above. Change the letter H in hello to give you pillow. And then how would you do that?
Print hello, square brackets, 0 equal P.
So you want to print, you're saying I should print it.
I don't know, I'm guessing. So hello,
Okay. So you're saying I'm gonna say hello, yeah,
square bracket,
yeah,
0
yeah,
equals P.
equals to P in that, right?
I have no idea.
So look at that. Boom. String object does not support item assignment. You know why? Because strings are immutable, right? So meaning I've already given this string hello, I've made it hello. I cannot change the hello, right? I cannot change that because it's immutable. So I cannot do something that like that. So it will not allow me to. So, but there is, yeah. Do you want to say something? Okay. So there is a way to do it. So you can actually change, I can actually change the value of hello, the variable, right? I can change that to something else. I'm just going to say, I'll say, right? So now if I go, sorry, print that, if I go print that, the new value of hello, the variable is same, right? But this does not mean that I changed hello the string. I changed hello the variable to a new one. I did not try and change the contents of hello the value. I changed the contents of hello the variable. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So when I do this, right? When I do this, 0 equals to P, I'm trying to change the value of hello, right? At the value of hello at index 0. That's what I'm trying to change, right?
Okay.
But when I do this, I'm assigning the variable hello a new value same. These two are not the same. Hello here and are not the same. I'm just changing the value. I'm like, okay, I gave this variable the value hello, but now I don't want it to be hello anymore. I want to actually make it same, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what this is saying. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you do that code in 8 for something that is mutable? The one where you can just change
Yes,
one character.
yes. So you'll see that when we deal with lists, you can actually say, okay, at position 1, I have 1, and then I want to change that 1 to be a 2, and this would be valid. Yes, when you do it for lists, yes, it would be valid. But for things that are immutable, you cannot do that. We okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is a way of saying it that you can replace the variable, but you can't change the content of.
Yes. So you can't. You're not replacing the variable. You're using the same variable. You're changing the value of the variable, right?
Yeah, you can change the value, but not the individual characters within the value.
Exactly. So that's not allowed for things that are immutable, and a string is one of them, right? So So now to end off, I'll say, so the question I asked now, how would you change this string such that it is no longer hello but pello, using the original string hello? How would you do it? So we need to use what we just learned here, right? And this to get the new value. So I think maybe if you want to give it a try, if anyone wants to give it a try.
Okay, let me try this, ne?
Yeah.
So, ooh, oh no, I'm clueless. I was thinking somehow you would slice that into
Slice
hello.
the original hello, yeah? So how do you want me to slice it?
Then it'll be 1 up
Yeah.
to 4.
Say 1
Start
up.
1 to 5. 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5, yes.
Yes, so we have hello.
We have hello, yes.
Okay, now to add a P. Oh, I'm not sure how to add a P.
Try. Whatever comes to your head, say it.
Okay, double quotes P.
Double quotes P, yeah.
Yeah, already gives us.
Yeah, that's not allowed. But yeah, that's close. That's close. And it's actually something we haven't said it. I haven't said it before, but so you can actually do something like that. Right? So I'll explain what that is. So now you see the output of that is pello. So this is called string concatenation. So you're concatenating two strings together. So the plus means different things depending on the types of or on the data types that it's working on. So the plus, this is called an addition operator, right? But when you add two numbers, it does that how you would expect it when you're dealing with mathematics. But when you are dealing with strings and you use the plus, it actually just joins the two. It joins the two strings together, making it one. So this is called string concatenation. So you can add another string here. Pello is man, right? And then it will give you that. So I can also add a space there just to make it clearer, right? So you can go Pello is a man. So you can actually add however many strings you want. So it just joins those strings and makes them one thing. Yeah. You good?
I'm confused by one thing.
Sorry?
Why is it that it reads the two hellos as two different things?
Sorry?
You see how on your second line you have hello equals hello. You have the variable equals this certain value, right?
Yes.
And then on 8, you go hello equals P plus hello concatenated.
Yeah.
Why is it that it does not read that variable hello as the same thing?
So what happens here, right?
When you print it, because you printed at the on the 10th line, right? Why is it that it can separate the two hellos that you have in line 8?
Okay, so what's happening here, right? So say initially I have my variable hello, right?
Yes.
And I gave it the value hello, right?
Yeah.
Here I'm not actually changing the contents of hello. I just want to see them by using string indexing and string slicing, right? I'm not changing anything. So here I'm saying, okay, I know I already have hello there. but I want to change my hello to be something else. So I'm saying
Okay.
my hello is equals to P plus my old hello plus is a man. So this here would be the old hello, right? So if I was to do this, right?
Put in another line.
Yeah.
Add some more shit.
Yeah, no. Just look at that. Just look at.
Okay.
So
Oh, actually,
wait, what? Hello is the man. Wait, what happened here? Maybe we're not changing anything. Ah, shit, we're not changing anything, actually. That's a bad example. But let me just go make that hello is a man. No more.
okay.
So that would say Pelo is the man no more. So actually let me do this. So you see, it says Pelo is a man, and then it says Pelo is a man no more, right?
So
Right?
It goes back a step.
Yeah, so it uses the previous one. So Pelo is a man no more, and then I can say right, whatever. You see that? Add another one. So I can it uses the previous value of hello to get the new one. So when it first started here, it was hello. It changed it to Pelo is a man, and then it used the Pelo is a man, and then you added no more to it, and then you make it Pelo is a man no more, and then you change it again, and then he's now a god, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah.
How do you slice a string that's a sentence?
Same way.
Same way. Like you count it.
Well, sorry.
Like you count it like from say 0, the spacing. You count the spacing.
Yes, you do. Everything, this is a character, a space character.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a comma. Yeah, so you count the space. A space is a valid character. Sorry?
Okay, that's fine.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a wrap for today.
All right, thanks. Shout
Say-
out to whole squad.
Safe.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Cool.
Yeah, this